Hey guys, you can love this. You gonna love this. Oh, Rusty is excited. He is. He has done something that is totally unlike himself. I have found. I have found a pet. I haven't had a pet in 40 years. You hear me? Nothing. Zero. Nothing. I have lived entirely alone for, wow, 30 years nearly. Yippee! But anyway, alone. But I found out some more stuff too. I did find a pet, I think. I think I'm going to pick it up Thursday, I think. And it is a miniature, not toy. They got, in poodles, you got three sizes. You got, the smallest one is a toy. The next size up is a miniature. And then the next size up is a standard. I found that out. And I got a miniature, which is the middle, okay? Because it is, doesn't shed, hypoallergenic, good, low odor, practically none, barks, depends. But I found one. It's 3 months old. It's a little male, hadn't been neutered, and it has a tail. They hadn't cut the tail off. You hear me? How about that? I found a whole dog. A whole dog. God damn it. I mean, talk about a project. Who would have thought? But anyway, I found one, and if everything goes okay, I'm going to pick it up Thursday around noon somewhere, wherever we're going to meet, because it's not in my area. It's not in my area. But anyway, what I did learn from the lady that has the dogs, she raises dogs for extra money. She has poodles and some other things. Had one, it was called a, can't even remember the name of it now, but it wasn't a poodle, it was a cross between a poodle and something else. But anyway, I found out about worming them when they're little puppies. You got to do it every 2 weeks until they're about a year old, and then you can change that program a little bit. And she said, you know, if you ever notice a little puppy with diarrhea, take it to the vet, because that is very significant. The little puppy could have some hookworms, and they can die from that. But anyway, so I'll set up a worming schedule, and she's going to trim him up. His name is Romeo. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Yeehaw! Romeo, god damn. 2 Romeos in one house. How about that, boys and girls? Oh golly, but I've got a lot to learn. I've got to get a little collar now. See, it's fun. All I got to do is spend money I don't have. That's what I really dawned on me. I'm spending money I ain't got a freaking dime. Oh golly. Well, somebody will just have to wait. But anyway, got to get a collar. Got to get one of those leashes that extends. And anyway, I asked the lady, I said, you know, she had a number of dogs. I looked at the pictures on the internet. She sent me a lot of pictures. And I said, well, you know, I really don't know which one I want. I said, there's just so many choices. But I did know I wanted Romeo off when I first saw the dog. And but I didn't say that. See, me being the old sly fox I am, which it didn't help a bit. I think she sent me pictures of like 7 different poodles and a couple of females. I mean, it was a mix of males and females, all about the same age. And I asked her, I said, well, let me ask you this. I think, you know, you've been in the business for years, and she's also in a wheelchair, you know, so she's disabled, and she grew up on a farm in Illinois somewhere, and she's same age. No, she's 74, And she's doing this to supplement her Social Security income, which I understand. And I asked her, she seemed like a very honest lady, and I didn't feel like she had any reason to lie to me. And maybe she did. Maybe she's the biggest con in the universe. How do I know? But anyway, I asked her. I said, well, of all the dogs or puppies that you have right now for sale, I cannot believe I'm buying a 3-month-old puppy. All right. I said, of all the ones that you have for sale, if you were going to buy one, which one would you buy? And just like that, she said Romeo. Romeo, Romeo. And I thought, well, you dog, you, I would too. That's the one I'd buy. She said, well, the reason she hadn't been able to sell it, listen to this reason for not selling Romeo. Romeo has a whole tail. They usually dock them, cut the tail off or shorten it when they're, right after they're born, basically. So it's just cutting the dog's spine off. That's what you're doing, okay? Never mind. But I thought, and she actually had reduced the price of this particular registered poodle. I mean, because and she had another one that had a tail. She had two that had tails, and the reason she didn't dock the tails was because there's a certain color that when they're born, they can be of more value if you leave the tail on. I don't know anything about this crap, but anyway, she left the tail on two of them. It turns out, as they got a few weeks older, she identified the fact that they weren't going to be what she thought they were going to be, but it was too late to dock the tail, she thought, at that time, without having to take it to the vet, and she just hadn't done it. And I said, honey, leave the tail on the dog. Leave the tail on the dog. Don't neuter him. Don't do a damn thing. I'm getting a whole dog. Romeo. I think. The whole deal may fall through, okay? I mean, has that ever happened before? But anyway, she told me how to take care of the fleas. She uses a stuff called Spectra. And or she said you can use something called Frontline Plus, and and then she's going to trim him up the first time. She's going to do that before she delivers him, or before I pick him up, because we're going to meet in the middle, so to speak. And the deal won't be solved until I look Romeo in the eyes and say, it's done. So we'll see about that. So anyway, guys and girls and everybody, you're looking at a man now who is no longer alone in the whole goddamn universe. It's me and my Romeo, straight up and narrow. Wherever we go, everyone knows it's me and Romeo. Oh, baby, baby, baby. I got a poodle. A miniature poodle. So what can I say? Am I excited? Yes and no. Yes, overall. But let me tell you, I went out, took a short walk just a few minutes ago because I thought I must have fallen off the patio and hit my head for me to be thinking about getting a pet. So I wanted to think about the fact that I may be suffering from a concussion and making these rash decisions because of a damage to what's left of my brain. So I'm taking a walk and I'm thinking, okay, you got Romeo with you now on the leash. I didn't, or I'm sitting here now and there's Romeo here. You got me? You never think about things like that. I got to get a dog dish for food and water. You know what I mean? I got to go pick up a 3-month-old puppy that's semi-housebroke. She said that she has a door for him to go in and out, and he goes out and pees and poops. He doesn't go in the house. She said, so that's kind of semi, but she said, if you left him inside for a long period of time, he's probably going to take a crap right on the floor. So, well, me and old Romeo worked that out. I hope. And the only thing I can think about is probably the whole, if it doesn't work out, if me and Romeo just can't work it out, and I'm just too much of a loner to have that type of interference in my life. The worst thing that can happen, she said, just give her a call, even if it's a year from now, and she will help me find a buyer. Because she said there's people looking for dogs like that all the time. And I thought, well, that's good. At least that softens the blow a little bit. And, it wasn't a big deal. I'm not going to tell you exactly how much it was, but it was, how much would I say? How would I give you a range? Uh, it was more than getting a dog from the shelter. Getting a dog from the shelter, after all the stuff they do to it, is around $100 to $150 minimum. And so it was slightly more than that. Slightly. Not much, because I wouldn't have gone much more than that. But it was it's enough to get my attention. How much was your dog, Rusty? Dog? What dog? Romeo. Oh, God, have I lost my mind. For you pet lovers out there, old Rusty's coming. He's coming. He may be stepping and shit in his little RV here, but I don't know what to say. God. Woo! 26-foot RV and me and a miniature poodle, but it's a full-bred dog with a tail. My neighbor's got a dog. I see him walking every now and then, and it's a big dog, but he's got the tail's cut off. So I asked him one day, I said, why do they cut dogs' tails off? And no one really has an answer. I mean, is it supposed to be pretty that you remove part of the spine that helps the dog communicate, one, and maintain his balance, two? Anyway, this is Rusty 78609 in Central Texas, USA. Thumbs up. Carpe diem. And soon, possibly on Friday this week, you're going to get to meet Romeo. Maybe, if I haven't already returned him. If I haven't already taken him back. Oh, what have I done? God damn. Adios. Bye. Shit.